Greetings, beautiful people. It's your girl, Yo. I hope you guys are having a good day. Listen, I want to talk to y'all for a few minutes. Now, I don't know if this has happened to y'all, but this happened. This right here that I'm getting ready to talk to y'all about has been happening to me all of my life. So you know how you now this is for family and friends. Let me tell y'all something. Listen, you have to really be careful with family and friends, right? Okay, so first of all, like you know how you have a dream or you have ideas and stuff like that, and people steal your ideas. That really irritates me. That irritates me to my core. Like I don't mind telling people stuff or helping people with things that they need to do, but it kills me when you know how you have an idea and you talk to the person or these people in your family. It could be family, friends, or whoever, your close circle, and then you have like this idea, you be excited about it and stuff, and you tell them about it or whatever, and they can seem to poke holes into everything that you're saying, right? They can poke holes into your dreams and into your ideas. Like, always find something wrong with it. But then as time go along, either they take your idea and make it their own, and or um, they'll just be that negative person in your ear all the time, telling you how things won't work for you, right? So let me give you an example. So a few years ago, well, it's been a couple of years back. I'm gonna just tell you some of the incidents. I had a girlfriend, and she was asking me. She, had a nice house and everything, and she was asking me what was my idea on the take of her backyard, how she could remodel and what would she do, what should she do with it, or what would I do? And I explained to her how I would put a gazebo here, and how I'll build this, and how I'll put a pool right here, and I just mapped out the whole yard for her, right, even down to the lighting fixtures and stuff. It was a nice sized backyard, not half as big as mine, just in case y'all haven't seen that yard, but it's not as big as mine, but it was still a I gave her the outline of it and everything, and it even gave her suggestions on places that she could probably purchase some of the material and stuff, and even told her how she can build some of the stuff, just like I dug this pond in my backyard myself, my own pond. She know all about that. So I'm telling all of this stuff, and then she says, oh yeah, okay, well I don't know, I don't think I'm gonna do that or whatever. Anyway, next thing I know, it wasn't even a good 2 to 3 weeks later, she had ordered some of the stuff that I had told her about, and so she invited me to her house to come over because she wanted to sit out and wanted to have a little cocktail on the patio and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, I'm coming. And at this time, my kids were they were teenagers, preteens and stuff, and they was doing that little thing. So I went over to her house, and we sat out there. She didn't tell me that she purchased it or nothing. So I'm going out to her back patio, and I'm seeing the exact thing, the same color, everything that I told her to get. It was overlapping the patio, and I'm like, okay. And she acted like that never happened. She acted like we didn't even talk about it. And I was like, nice. I said, this is really nice right here. It's really nice. She was like, oh, thank you. I'm like, do she know that I see her? Right? Do she know I see her? I'm like, okay. So I played her silly game, and that was one incident, and that was with one person. Then I told y'all, I don't know if I told y'all about the incident. It was many years ago. I was still working, had my own business and stuff like this, and I was thinking about creating another business, and that was to go to deliver medicine and food to people's homes and stuff like that. Back then, there was no such thing as no DoorDash, none of that stuff. It wasn't no Walmart or none of those places delivering food, or the shop had people shopping for you and bringing it to you. None of that. And I told y'all, I got it on my on this my YouTube page. It was this gentleman that owned this major chain store, and my uncle, which is my father's uh, brother, knew him, and so he connected me to him, to the son. And I had a meeting. The son got me a meeting, so I could speak to him about my idea. The idea was people could call you, give you an order for you to go to the store and pick up everything that you wanted them to pick up off that list, right? Once you pick that list up, you deliver it to that person, you get them the money, right? I mean, they exchange the money, just like you do when you do the DoorDash and stuff like that, or when you do, what's this thing where you can shop? I can't think of the name of it, where you can shop and they'll bring it to your house. You shop on the phone or you shop on the app and they bring it to your house. All of this was before that, right? Okay, so I had the meeting with the son, not the father, but the son. But the son was a part of the corporation too, big major corporation, okay? And had the meeting. He was like, wow, that's a great idea. Meeting went well. It was only like a 45-minute meeting because I already had all my stuff in front of me, all that stuff. And he was so surprised and loved it. Said, we're going to get back to you in no later than, he told me, 48 hours, 2 days. I was like, okay, cool. So I left the meeting feeling excited. I'm like, oh, wow, this is good. You know, get on and all this stuff. Man, the man never called me. I called, the secretary was, oh, he's in a meeting, da-da-da, whatever. It's crazy. And by me being young at that time, I wasn't thinking, I was trusting people. I did talk to a lawyer before I went, but they just told me just to mail my idea to myself and all that stuff, write it all out and mail it to yourself so that you can have the stamp on it and all this. But anyway, without all the details, this man owned other chains of stores, grocery stores. And what he did was incorporate my idea in those stores. And that became a big thing. And a really big thing, right? But old little old me, didn't get no credit for none of that stuff. And I know that this stuff has happened to people over the centuries, over years. People invent, different things. Our people invent lights and all kinds of stuff, all kinds of things. But it just irritates me when it's people that don't dream, that's not creative, and they sit back and they steal from people that have ideas, right? Here's another one too. That was the biggest one that I told y'all about just a few minutes ago. The biggest one is that, stealing my shit. Because I gotta be talking about money. It could be generational wealth right now. Y'all see how this thing has exploded or whatever. Okay, and then plus I did before I even went to that person, I was already putting that in practice because I had a business called Sit and Shop. And I would use my own vehicle, had my own logo and everything. It was already registered and all that. And I was doing that for seniors in the neighborhoods and in different parts of town. They would contact me and I would go to the drugstores, pick up their stuff and deliver it to them. Yeah, all that kind of stuff. Along with feeding the homeless. All of this and working. But anyway, this is crazy. So, and this is the reason why I'm bringing this up, is because most recently, it's a married couple, friend of ours. They wanted me, my father used to, had a business, and one of them was a hauling company. He used to take the house, demolition houses, demolition office buildings, all that kind of stuff. And we would take that stuff away. We would cut down trees in people's yard, and all that kind of stuff. So it was a hauling company. And so I used to work with him, with my brothers and stuff. That's why I got all them cones and calluses on my hand. I used to drive the tandem truck and stuff, and I would go pricing jobs and stuff, and I'd come back to my dad and let him know what jobs we have to do. So I was the one going out to do that, and then plus I was the driver. Okay, so, and my dad used to love me pricing. So anyway, my girlfriend and her husband, they wanted me to price a job for them. And this is something that they're trying to do. So this is a company that they have tried to start. Anyway, so I went with them, with her actually, and that was last week. And I went to the job, one of the jobs I did, they saw. And I told her what I would charge for the job. And she was like, no, I think that's gonna be too much. I was explaining to her, no, well, why would you ask me to price a job if you think it'll be too much? You know what I'm saying? It was like, okay. But so she wanted to underbid. So I was like, okay, you go ahead and do that. Well, come to find out, somebody that worked on that site told me how much they getting for the job. And it's exactly what I told her to price the job for, right? But how about she told me that they're not even doing the job, that they decided not to. And I'm like, why would you lie about something like that? I mean, listen, okay. That's why I keep my circle really small. I only have like real close friends. I only have like a handful, 5, especially of the people that I'm gonna tell my ideas to, and I'm telling you, they don't always include family. So I tell my mom, of course my husband, he knows, but it's like, and I have 2 girlfriends that I'll tell what I'm thinking. But other than that, that's it. I don't be telling nobody what I'm thinking because they do too much stealing and it's crazy. It just don't make no sense. You know how people won't allow you to dream, and they try to steal your shit, and then sometimes they steal your stuff and act like it's theirs, their idea. I'm like, how crazy is that? I don't know if that's just happened to me, or have y'all ever experienced that, where you talk to somebody about what you're thinking about in your dreams and stuff like this. It's another thing that I thought about, y'all. Let me tell you this another dream that I told. And when I was working in the hospital, right? And I was thinking about the people that have the amputees, people that can't use their arms or something like that, or legs, but they still conscious, and they're in the hospital room. I designed this thing that it's like a book. It's like a, for people that want to read. It's like a tablet before the tablet even came out, actually. But it would like you could turn pages with it. You would have to use your mouth. It's like a straw, and then you could turn the pages with the straw so that you can read. So if you have mobility of your this part, your neck, that you can use it. But it will come down. You can have a button that you can push that will come down from the ceiling of the hospital ceiling over the bed, and it will open. It's like a little stand, and it will open up where your book would be on it. And you could change the pages for your book, but you would have to just touch it and change it with your, put the straw in and touch it. I still had that design. Yeah, but anyway, that was stolen too, but it's still not perfected the way I would have it. But anyway, they use that in rehab centers now. I'm like, because I also worked at a place called Shelter and Arms, which is a rehab center here in Virginia. But anyway, yeah. Why don't I just keep my mouth shut and stop telling people what I'm thinking? Because that is really the best thing to do. If you don't want nobody to steal your ideas, steal your dreams, poke holes in your dreams and ideas, talk negative about them, but take and use them for themselves, just don't say nothing. Old people used to say, don't let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. So sometimes, and my grandmother used to say, you have to tell some and keep some. Some things you can't tell everybody not even your family or closest friends. Sometimes you have to keep it to yourself until you're ready to just go ahead and get things done. Yeah. Ooh, child, I'm just saying. And I call these people, and have been calling them all the time, copy and paste niggas. There's a lot of them. Males and females, copy and paste niggas. I came up with that term just so y'all know. There's a bunch of them on this YouTube and in your real life. So just be careful and be wary. Don't put nothing out here that you don't mind people copying and pasting, okay? So anyway, with that being said, I'm gonna get up out here. I'm gonna talk to y'all later. I got stuff to do. It looked like it's trying to drizzle a little bit. As a matter of fact, it is. But I'm still gonna cut this, I'm still gonna take care of all of that. I'm gonna do it in the rain. Anyway, I'm gonna holler at y'all later. Peace, everybody.